So I'm live. Hello, and this is the 50th video. And so, like I did on my 25th video, I went live and just give a bit of a recap. Available to answer any questions of the videos that I produced so far. And yeah, there's a lot of gratitude to all of those that have been following my journey, those that have been liking, sharing, subscribing. Much gratitude to you all, and all the comments that I've had, whether it's been actually on the videos across the different channels. So I've been putting this on Facebook, Instagram. I've got a YouTube channel and TikTok, and so there's been conversations going backwards and forwards, either on their posts themselves or private messaging, or people who have my contact details but get in touch. And I've even had people stop me in the street or at festivals saying, "I recognise you from either YouTube or I've seen you on TV." I'm going, "I haven't been on TV recently," but and then we got chatting and said, "Oh yeah, that was it, yeah," and they brought me back to a place, and sometimes they've even quoted things that I've said, and we've had in-person conversations. So it's been really phenomenal. So yeah, much gratitude to all of those people that have been supporting, and those that are still going to pick up these videos at a later stage. So sending gratitude into the future. So yeah, as I said, I did one of these lives on my 25th video and now on the 50th video, and it's just an opportunity for me to really look back over the last 25 videos, not all of them, but just pick out some little highlights, some further insights. And I already have some questions that people have asked, but if you're listening to this live now and you've got any questions that you want to ask me anything, that's what I'm here for. So yeah, so the 26th video, that was all to do with soul remembrance, and yeah, it's one of those videos that I really felt myself getting into that kind of peak state. And I know that for those people that follow Tony Robbins, he talks a lot about peak states. And funnily enough, with my daughter Trinity, a few nights ago, we started watching the Date with Destiny on Netflix, and within the first 10 minutes, it reminded me that that this Date with Destiny is 6 days, and what can you achieve if you're in that peak state? And for me, remembering who I am and that sovereignty, and I refer to it in other videos about getting into that layer of the onion and to that divine essence. When I remember who I am, I am unstoppable. I am so powerful, as are you. So, so this whole soul remembrance video was I really felt that energy shifting within me as I was talking about it. I felt that kind of goosey pimples down my arms, and yeah, it was a beautiful video. Then the video 27 was about making the conscious unconscious, and yeah, it's just been about having that awareness. If we're keeping things inside us and we're not talking about it, we're not expressing it, and especially I talk a lot about the shadows. So if something that we're trying to repress or avoid or deny, then it's taking control of us. We're not actually bringing it out into awareness, and once something's in awareness, it loses its power. So yeah, brilliant. And then video 29 was about stopping into the sovereignty, and I was talking about the dog trainer, and we've been here now in Totnes for about 10-11 weeks, and that was certainly one of the highlights, is just working with this dog trainer over a 5-week period, realising that it wasn't the dog that needed training, it was the humans, and it really helped me to step into that kind, compassionate leader. And just realising that Dante, our dog, was perfect all along. So that was a beautiful journey, and the amount of different workshops that I'd been on, and different trainings, different retreats, and all these kind of big journey that I've been on, to actually have somebody who's a totally outsider, just holding a different perspective on life, and yeah, it was just so beautiful to actually go through that journey. And then did on video 31, I was talking about the lives in between lives, and I talked earlier about the different channels, so the whole YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. For some reason, that particular video, just everybody was commenting on it or sending me messages, and it had the most hits everywhere. Yeah, so that, and it's one of those subjects I'm talking about, but I did do that disclaimer at the beginning of it to say I'm talking about something and I don't really know what I'm talking about because I haven't actually experienced it myself. It's just those kind of beliefs or that kind of intuitive part of me realizing that that there is a life between lives, and I was just sharing really what was going on. So as I said, there was a lot of conversations, and for me, you know, as I mentioned in the video, the trauma of being kind of trapped in between lives, and that distilling process. You know, you're there fully as you are, with all that life experience, but also all conditioning, and it's been extracted out of you. You know, I use that example of that last drop of coming from your fingertip, and it was that got carried forward to your next life. And you know, that all those veils, or if you like, all those layers of the onion that is keeping you from remembering that true essence. So that whole life between lives, and what goes on in that process, as I say, was quite a journey, and it was obviously well received. By video 33, it was quite a long video, it's about 40 odd minutes. I was sharing just some of the things that I've been doing on my spiritual journey, and as I say, I didn't realise it was going to be 40 minutes, and I suppose in retrospect it was good to have sat down for that one, because as I say, it was a long video, and there's quite a few things that I actually forgot to mention in there. You know, some of the things that like the a whole month of yoga teach training, you know, I forgot to mention that in the video, or some of the tantra workshops that I'd run, or some of the workshops that I'd run within the business arena as well. So and how I'd actually shared some of the teachings from places like AFest within business. So that was another part of my journey, and I think I did mention in that video that that was only just a small part of the whole journey. So yeah, it was cool. Video 35, I was looking at angel numbers, and it's funny because after that particular video, I then was seeing numbers everywhere, and in the last few days there's been quite a few 6s and 7s and things like that around for me, so that's been pretty cool. I then looked at another video about what can I contribute, what can I offer, and all this learning that I've been doing is never been about me. It's been able to repackage it, to understand it, and to actually share this wisdom. And yes, I have paid, you know, it has cost me a fortune in some respects to actually take all this time out and to visit all these places, to learn all these things. But it was never always, it was never about just for me. It was about me, for me, get my tongue twisted, for me to be able to share all this. I talked about the brain orgasm, and so when I was talking earlier about that remembering who I am, and getting those tingly sensations down my spine and everything, and I talked about that onion having the many layers, and that inner layer being your pure essence. A video that I felt a bit of hesitation to talk about, video 39, where I was talking about addictions. You know, it's something that is vulnerable. It's something that I've battled with for some time, and I'm sure I'll be challenged again. But yeah, that whole kind of Jumanji drums, dum 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 dum. You know, having those cravings, and is it the cravings, or is it that you have something that is unresolved within you, and really you wanting to cover those childhood traumas or those issues over, and you just wanting to sort of consume something, you know? So whether it is sort of like consuming TV, Netflix, it's consuming cigarettes, alcohol, overeating and things like that, you know, the whole addictions is, in my opinion, and there's lots of different experts talking about different ways that addictions are instrumental. But yeah, it's generally a case of we're masking something, some kind of pain. So when those drums dum 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 are beating for you to actually be reaching out for something, is it not a time then to sort of like take that time to say, right, okay, you know, let's sit with this. Let's just sit with this hurt inside, and let it sort of like bring itself to awareness. Let me feel that pain, and instead of covering it up, just be able to be with it. And eventually, you know, it becomes easier, and you actually, that whole felt perception, because in another video, I think it might have been pre-25 video point, but I did talk about that, was it something like 80% of our thought, beliefs and processes, and our map and model of the world is actually determined before the age 5, and by the time we're 5, yes, we have a vocabulary, but a lot of it is actually vibrational. It's felt energy, felt resonance. So those kinds of emotions, you know, we need to feel them again to be able to feel okay with them, as opposed to trying to intellectually fake it until we make it, or trying to consume something to actually cover up our pain. Another video 41, I was talking about intimate relationships, and again, I felt a little bit uneasy about talking about that, but I'd already said, that I'm going to talk about, these things in a previous video about addictions and about relationships. And one of the quotes in there was, if the heart, is the heart open, or is it the ego that is open? And both of them can't be. So that was a beautiful remembrance, to actually be in the heart in the relationship, and just don't let the ego get in the way. And again, I think I referred to what wolf are you feeding in the different videos. So we give our energy to one path or another. We give our energy to our heart space, or we feed our ego. So it's again, everything's about that divine choice. And in the intimate relationships, I talked about the 5 love languages, and yeah, if you haven't visited the 5 love languages website, it's great just to sort of see what those love languages are for you. Video 43, I talked about coaching and the scenario that if you're on your deathbed and you have these regrets of things that you haven't done in your life, it's a bit too late, isn't it? Although technically, we have life after life after life after life to actually perfect these things, to learn these lessons, and these lives go in a blink. It's like it's been slowed down and suspended animation for us to experience all these things and to actually really viscerally get the actual lesson, and to actually feel through it, to be able to fully experience it. And a lot of the times we're feeling, we're actually experiencing the whole polarities of things, so from that frustration down to, all the way through to patience and accepting, from anger through to calmness and joy. So that whole polarity of those lessons. So yeah, and coaching obviously is a way of being able to look at what your blind sides are. Video 46, I was talking about our brain and the way that we make meanings out of everything. We think that somebody's looked at us in a certain way, so obviously they don't like us and disapproving of us. No, that's what we, they might be just looking at us because that's the way that they look, but we're making meanings about things all the time. And I said that nothing in this world is real until we decide what reality to attribute towards it. So we're making our reality all the time by what we're actually perceiving, and our brain, we are the creator. We are like God. We are God. We have that ability to create and manifest like that, but we have to have that purity, that intention and attention to everything at all times. Video 47, again, another one that kind of scared me to do was talk about the whole sacred masculine, divine feminine, and getting that balance. And why did it scare me? I'm not 100% sure, but it's something that really got me interested at the beginning of the year. And I did some work, some shamanic journeying into receiving the gifts from the light feminine and the dark feminine. And then, as I said, I did the tantra training 3 months ago or something, and that heavily explored that in more detail. And then, funnily enough, just a few days ago, for those people who know Totnes, you'll know the guy who does the numerology on the main street, and I had a reading from him. And so not only was I getting the 6s that I talked about in the angel numbers, as being a very kind of synchronistic number, but a lot of the numerology was very similar to his wife or ex-wife, I can't remember what he said, but where it's a lot of balance between that masculine and feminine energy, and he was quite blown away actually by how balanced I do have those. So that's something that I want to be working with more, and probably do some more videos on that masculine feminine balance and the archetypes that go with that. Video 49 was to do with the dreams, and again there's some more very insightful dreams coming up, and a quote that I used from Fritz Perl, who was the Gestalt psychotherapist, was that the different parts of the dreams are fragments of our personality. So whatever we have in the dreams is some kind of reflection of what's going on for us. So that's just a quick recap on the last 25 videos. I didn't cover them all, but yeah, just some of the highlights. So I'm actually on my laptop as well, so I can see whether I've had any comments so far, any questions. So I don't seem to, but I do have some videos. I do have some questions that have already been asked elsewhere. So yeah, please do feel free to ask any questions. I know I've got a viewer at the moment, but if there's anybody else wants to jump on or ask any questions, please do. So I was asked, where do I get the inspiration for my daily videos? So I get the inspiration from a lot of various places. Recently, when I was at Love Jam, that was really good. The Love Jam Festival. There's quite a few different workshops that was embodying that kind of life force energy and allowing that kind of feminine energy to run, and actually witnessing how many times I had interactions with the divine feminine where I felt really held, where I felt really supported, where I felt really nurtured. And just being able to sort of like witness that, and it was like the universe was lining things up. It's a case of, okay, Mike, you haven't experienced this, so we're going to, sit you in a situation where you're going to be really nurtured by the feminine, and now you're going to be really supported. And then the funny thing is the very last workshop that I went with was actually was put into threes, and I had a woman at either side, and was pushing me, and I was sort of having to really surrender to them and actually falling with my eyes closed and knowing that I was going to be caught, and then falling backwards and being caught, and that was scary, but again, as I say, it was like the universe was giving me all these different challenges. So that was just one place where I get inspiration from, or some of the classes that I go on, some of the journaling. Sometimes things come through in dreams, or I just wake up with a knowing kind of thing. Or a lot of the time, the inspiration for these videos is what I'm processing. So one of my early videos was talking about the fact that I'm actually processing my processes while online, and when I was talking earlier about bringing awareness into things, so by verbalizing it, I'm not actually holding on to it. I'm actually teaching and learning at the same time. Right, another question was, what breakthroughs, insights did you have from doing this process? Oh, got right. So the insights, many insights, many breakthroughs. I mean, things like facing the fear about being vulnerable and sharing the things that I've been sharing it has been a lesson. It's I feel comfortable with it. It's still scary, but and of course, if you're sharing vulnerable things, why wouldn't it be scary? But I'm getting more confident with that, so that's a good thing. Another highlight, or sorry, insight breakthrough is the contribution. So I enjoy sort of like sharing what I'm doing. I enjoy sort of like people commenting to say that it's been useful for them. So that's been insightful. It's been good for me. And there's been lots of personal transformations and breakthroughs and awakening to different identities, and yeah, just sometimes shooting a video and then sort of like something comes up further on in the day, I'm thinking, oh god, yeah, it even makes more sense. So sometimes by bringing something into a video format, it awakens things up further for me. So yeah, lots of really cool insights, breakthroughs. And then the final question, unless there's any more I'm going to come through, was, will you carry on producing these videos, and will you have any kind of themes? So yeah, I'll probably do these videos maybe weekly, fortnightly. I'll probably experiment with maybe sort of like adding some more video footage in there, or different graphics, whatever, to make it as opposed to just me in front of a camera. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And as for themes, yeah, I as I mentioned, I also have a YouTube channel, so I think you can actually have different themes there. But I think a lot of the themes probably will bleed into each other. So things like the shadow work, I talked about that quite a lot in my videos. So shadow work, awakening, the whole kind of awakening to identities, to who you are, but not only awakening, but how do you embody that? How do you actually operate from there? So shadow, sorry, awakening and embodiment. Men's work, that's something that I've been involved with for some time, and again, there's a lot of shadow work involved with that, as is things like tantra. So tantra would also have the shadow element, but also the awakening and also the embodiment side. So again, a lot of these kind of topics are bleeding into each other. And then also things like the sovereignty, you know, stepping into your power, releasing those shackles of things like the conditioning and the societal kind of conditioning that we're actually currently being living in. So how do we break free from that? So those kinds of 5 areas, 4, 5, 6 areas that I've just mentioned, you know, that's something that I will be looking at more deeply, and of course, you know, any feedback of these videos might prompt me to actually look at other areas to discuss. So yeah, and then I think also another one that what was quite keen, and I also got quite a lot of views, was when I actually just did a very short, maybe 30-second video, was, you know, what is the shadow, and I sort of like give a definition of what the shadow was. So those kinds of shorts videos build up a bit of a library. So, you know, I could talk about the word surrender. What does surrender really mean? And just give a 20-second perspective on that. So I might be doing a series of little short videos as well. So and then of course moving forward, and towards some of the last videos, I did say that I'll be doing more and more offerings. So I'll be running like a free breathwork workshop. I've also opened up the channel to do check-ins on the Life Mastery Facebook group, and obviously anybody wants to book a discovery call with me, I have the actual booking form working properly. It wasn't working properly until just a few days ago, so I'll make sure that I'll also post the link below in the comments. So yeah, thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for those that have tuned in today. Thank you for all those people that, as I said earlier, that have liked, that have shared, that have commented, and that have been a part of my life and supported me in this. So blessings to you all, much love, and ciao for now, and I will see you on another video sometime soon. Thank you, and bye-bye. And I've got to find the finish button, which